Minting NFTs. Minting a new NFT can be exciting. However, there are some things to be aware of. Minting is largely considered the riskiest part of obtaining a new NFT since you will be interacting with a contract. That means if you do the wrong thing and sign a malicious contract, your assets could be stolen in a matter of minutes. In this module, we'll go over the basics of minting from the website. Then we will see how to read and mint from a contract. We will also cover how to adjust your gas settings so you can mint faster. And finally, we will take a look at how minting bots work. Minting from the website will be the most common ways to mint for most people. It is in theory pretty straightforward, and if you're watching this advanced module, you have probably gone through a mint from a website before. So we will look at the key things you should be paying attention to. Let's go over a quick example together. We are on a website of a project currently minting. We've now logged in and are ready to mint. So we will select one token for the example and let's click on the mint button. A new MetaMask window will now open, showing you the total amount you will pay for your NFT plus the gas fee for the transaction. All there is left to do is click on confirm, and your transaction will go through once confirmed on the blockchain. We can see that this contract isn't malicious because there is no warning that this contract is attempting to transfer anything out of my wallet. Now let's look at what a scam signature would look like. We have an example here where this contract is asking us to give permission to some of my assets. MetaMask makes it very clear that you're giving permission to transfer something out of your wallet or give the contract access to your funds. If you scroll down further on the MetaMask window, you can see more details. Here we have the permission request from the contract and what assets I would approve if I sign this transaction. This is the biggest red flag you can get, and you should be extremely careful when signing a mint transaction. The blockchain is irreversible, and once signed, your assets will be gone and there is no way to revert a transaction. Always be careful and don't fall to the FOMO. It can be extremely costly. So take your time to read through every transaction you sign. Your assets depend on your due diligence. Reading and minting from the contract. Minting from the contract rather than the website may be your next step in your trading journey, and for good reasons. Minting from the contract offers a few benefits. Website of hyped project will sometimes crash. Minting directly from Etherscan will erase that potential issue. There is also an added layer of safety as you can read the contract and verify the function that will be called to mint. Being on the contract page also allows you to see the minted supply live as well as other interesting data points such as the number of unique owners. Before we start minting from the contract, we first need to get to the contract page. You should be able to get the contract address from the project official channels such as Twitter, Discord, or OpenSea. To get the contract address from OpenSea via the collection page, click on any NFT, scroll down to details and click on the contract address. Now we are on the Etherscan page. Let's see what we can learn from it before minting. The contract homepage will show you a few things. The contract address, the balance, which is how much Ethereum this contract currently holds, as well as its dollar value. The token tracker, which allows you to check the max total supply and number of holders. Then below we have a few tabs we are interested in. Transactions, which shows you all the transactions that happened, whether it's a mint, a transfer, or a purchase. The contract tab, which is where we will be spending more time. This tab is split in three parts. The code, which is effectively the entire code for the contract. Then we have the read and write contract functions. If we move to the read function, there are a few tabs that matter. We cannot interact with any of those functions, but they have some great information. Available supply, as the name suggests, will tell you the total collection size. Name, which will be the collection name. Public max per wallet, which shows you how many NFTs you could mint on public mint. Public sale active tells you whether or not the public stage is live. Revealed, which will tell you if the collection is revealed or not. Total supply, this is the number of tokens currently minted, not the total collection size. Whitelist active tells you if the whitelist allocation can mint. Let's now move to the write contract function. This is where we will be able to mint. The main function we care about should be called mint. The name could be customized and could be something like mint compass, for example, but usually the word mint will be present. Once you toggle on the mint function, you will see two boxes. The first one is payable amount, which is how much you will pay to mint. This function accepts any number, so if you put the wrong price, your transaction may fail if you haven't put enough, or you may overpay if you've put too much. It's important to be sure of the mint price when going through the contract. Number of tokens is how many tokens you will want to mint, and similarly to the payable amount, there is no limit to the number you can input. If the mint limit is 1 per wallet and you insert 2, your mint will fail. This particular mint costs 0.03 Ethereum, so let's enter that in the payable amount function. Then we want to mint 1 token, so let's enter 1 in the number of tokens function. All there is left now is to click on Write, which will send your request to the contract, and then the regular MetaMask window will pop up. Just make sure everything looks good, and you are then ready to mint from the contract. How to mint fast with custom gas settings. In the beginner course, we went over gas, how gas fees are calculated, and why gas costs so much. If you haven't watched that video yet, go and check it out, as we won't be explaining the basics today. Instead, we will show you how to adjust your gas manually to beat the current competition on a busy mint. To adjust gas manually ahead of the transaction happening, you need to go to your MetaMask wallet and check in for the settings and the advanced gas control. Click on your profile, then go to Settings, Advanced, and toggle on the Advanced Gas Control. Now we need to create a transaction to set the gas settings. Copy your wallet address and then click on Send, as if you wanted to send yourself some Ethereum, but leave the amount to 0 and then hit Next. Now you can see the current gas fee and have access to the settings. Click on Market to access the custom gas settings and then click on Advanced. To save your settings for your next transaction, remember to tick the box Save these new values as my default for Advanced. This new window is going to allow you to customize your gas settings. The max fee is the total global amount paid for your transaction. It is calculated as base fee plus priority fee times the unit of gas used. MetaMask initially sets this amount based on the previous block's history. The priority fee, also referred to as the miner tip, incentivizes the miners to prioritize your transaction. The higher this number is, the more likely it is that the miner will prioritize your transaction since you're putting more money in their pockets. The gas limit is the maximum number of units of gas you're willing to pay for in order to carry out this transaction. Remember, a normal transaction sending Ethereum or a token will normally cost 21,000 gas. You can edit this parameter yourself, but remember that you should only increase it if you want to adjust it. You now know how to change all 3 settings, and to understand what you should set it at, it's best to look at the current fees in place as it changes all the time. If you want to check how much gas other people are paying, it's best to go to the contract mint page and check the most recent transactions. To do that, go to the Etherscan transaction section on the contract you want to mint from and check the last successful mint transaction. You can filter the transaction type to mint, and once you've opened the last transaction, click on See More and check the gas limit and gas fees. Based on those numbers, you can then adjust your own gas settings to make sure you will be at least as fast or faster than this transaction. Once adjusted, you can now save these new settings as new value and hit the Save button. Don't forget that this will now be your new default setting, so remember to change it back after minting, or you will pay extra on your following transactions. Minting bots are designed to front-run regular people minting manually. You will hear that happen quite often on public mint, as there is no whitelist requirement, meaning anyone can mint the collection. Minting bots are not very common and easy to find because they're not ethical and against the rule, as you can pretend to be multiple people by creating many fake wallets. They also tend to be extremely expensive, as the profit that can be made from those bots is enormous. The way these bots work is by creating one or multiple wallets and watching the contract status. As soon as the mint function is turned on, they will be minting, usually much faster than regular users who have to refresh the web page or wait to see the announcement from the project, meaning they will be well behind the bots already. The minting bot will have various gas and GUI settings to mint as fast as possible in order to ensure they are minting as many tokens as possible before the collection sells out. We have seen collections minting out in seconds or minutes in the past. Are bots good or bad for the ecosystem? NFT botting is giving the user an unfair advantage as it manipulates the market, putting a large portion of the supply into the hands of a few, and leaves the true believers in the project no chance to mint without paying an enormous gas fee or being at risk of failing their transaction. You will usually have a time frame to mint on the whitelist, between a few hours to a day or two, and this works great to save gas. On the downside, that puts the project at risk as the NFT market is very volatile and people run on emotion. If the collection doesn't mint fast, many people turn away as they're most interested in flipping rather than long-term holding. Minting too slow can be seen as a lack of interest. And minting all public is dangerous because bots will be there and gas wars will happen. There is no perfect system yet, but we have seen many projects attempt to find solution, from whitelist mint only to raffles, Dutch auction, and stealth launch. But nothing is perfect yet and probably never will be. This is also a problem in the retail world, for example, where you would have hype releases that would see thousands of people queue up to buy a limited edition of a sneaker or a hoodie. These people are also usually willing to pay higher than usual price to obtain the item, and the secondary market value is also up the charts, with people willing to pay 10 times the price to get their precious sneakers. Supply and demand will always create friction and drive the value up or down, and that's the market we're playing with. Let's not forget it.